Right here is the foundation of everything. So today we are tackling one of the most requested topic we have ever received on this program, and the question keep coming on talking about how to plan a trip step by step. And at times you get people talking that how do I start, where do I start, especially when the second voice comes in and tells you how do you start? You don't have money, you don't have a lot of things, and that voice just to make those dreams come smaller. So this afternoon, as you know, the Travel with Ease is your travel companion on radio, only on JDN Radio 101.5 FM.
Open your mind, see the world with ease. Learn as you travel, travel with peace. Oh, travel with peace. Stress-free journeys. Your education and travel simplified. Travel with ease. Knowledge meets discovery. See the world the smarter way. From visas and flights to places to go. Books that teach you all you should know. We read, review, and guide your way. Learning.
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, it's still your dial 101.5 FM. And before we go into the steps, I want to spend just a few minutes. I want to talk about why planning matters, because some people hear the word planning and they tune out. They say, I'm a spontaneous traveler. I don't plan, I just go. And, I respect that energy, truly, because here is what I've learned about speaking to hundreds of travelers on this program and their experience in life. And there is a very important difference between being spontaneous and being unprepared. When we talk about spontaneous, means you embrace the unexpected. Unprepared means you didn't give yourself a fighting chance. Now, there are some travelers who have the best spontaneous experience are almost always the ones who planned the essential. That is just the truth. The flights, they planned the accommodation, they planned their document, and then left everything else open. That is the sweet spot. Structure where you need it. Freedom will be everywhere. Freedom will be there for you when you plan. Then you can say you are spontaneous. There are some people, they are spontaneous because they have everything in the right places, and they just tell you they are leaving. They know the right people to call, and immediately they call, you just find out that you are there already. So when someone tells you they are spontaneous, ask them if they have a structure or not. For someone to say I'm a spontaneous traveler, that means that person must have a structure. Now, here is another truth about planning that nobody talks about enough. The planning process is part of the travel experience. I've said it on this program when we were talking about traveling on a low budget. The moment you start researching your destination, the moment you start reading about it, the moment you start looking at the photos, imagining yourself there, your brain releases a dopamine, and the same chemical releases when you actually arrive there. And scientists have called it an anticipatory pleasure. You are literally enjoying the trip before it starts. Imagine you trying to go to South Africa and you've gone online to see those beautiful places you might want to see, and it happens to us at times. You are going somewhere and you are just imagining yourself there, and when I get here I will do this, I will do that. You are already excited already before you get to that destination. Now back to what we are talking about today, that planning a trip is not a burden when it is done right. It is one of the most exciting things you can do on an ordinary day. Maybe on a Wednesday morning, on a Thursday morning, you can just decide that, okay, I want to plan where I want to go to, maybe for the month of July or August. Everything has to be planned. You can't just wake up this morning and say you are traveling. And for traveling, you need to put everything in place. And also, the third reason why planning matters is that it saves you money. It saves you money, and you get to pay less for your flights, and also you pay less for your hotels. You avoid tourist traps, and you'll be able to stretch every of your naira, be it cedis, be it pounds, be it dollars. You're able to stretch them more further. So with that foundation being set, letting you know why it matters for you to travel, we are now going to step into the actionable steps on how to plan any trip from absolutely from scratch. That is what we are doing today. You want to plan a trip, then let's plan it step by step, which is very, very important. So I'm talking based on the fact that I don't even know the amount of money you have with you. I don't even know if you have a zero balance in your account, but we are planning a trip from the scratch, step by step. So call everyone, because we will be giving out information that you might need, or you might think that I know how to do this, but then you might pick one or two things that you never knew you should do when planning your trip from the scratch. Let's take a moment.
To places to go, books that teach you all you should know. We read, review, and guide your way. Learning and travel side by side each day. Oh, travel with ease. Learn it right. Education and travel simplified. Travel with ease. Day or night. Your trusted voice on radio. On the mic every Wednesday, 3 p.m. to 4.
Welcome back. Do you know that it is important for you to give yourself permission to want something? At times we kill that permission, that you can't afford it at this time, but it is good and it is very important that you give yourself permission to want something. Yes, and one of the something you need is traveling. It's not necessarily saying you want to travel out of the shores of Nigeria, but when we are talking about leaving the state you are to another state, it's quite important. Okay, let me cite an example. There was a time I wanted to leave Lagos, and I wanted to go to Osun State. Then I was a bit younger, so my parents were like, no, you can't go because you are not old enough. They were like, if I don't go, how am I going to learn? Then what they asked me to do is, okay, go to the park and ask for the vehicle that you'll be going with. Then that was the first basis of me leaving the house on my own without anyone saying you have to go here, you have to go there. So I went. So they gave me time that if there is traffic and every other thing. So when I went, I asked from Osun bus, I asked the bus going to Ilorin, I asked the bus going to different states. Then I thought about the whole thing that, okay, when I get home, I'll sit down and pick which place do I exactly want to go. Then when I got back and I told them the fare for the buses, and they told me that if I go there, I do not have people there. So why am I going? I said I want to explore that. I'm just tired of where I am. I want to explore. Then the next question is, where exactly? Because we can't just let a child out without not knowing where you are supposed to go. That if you want to go on this journey, then someone elderly would have to go with you. Maybe your elder brother or your elder sister. Then you plan it around knowing where you want to stay and explore some things. And that was the first thing. I gave myself permission that I need to travel, that I don't know any other place aside here I'm staying. So what is the point? Why can't I just travel on my own and explore things? So it is very important that you give yourself permission to want something. It's not something bad that you want to explore something, but it's something good. You get to see some other people in their other way. Then I believe words ends in Lagos, but I found out that there are still some other beautiful environments when we were traveling, we were able to stop at Ibadan, the pace setter. Then I was able to say that the atmosphere in Oyo State, the pace setter, is actually peaceful. The serenity is peaceful compared to where I was coming from. It's not chaotic. Everybody was just going gently and it wasn't that stressful. And I was like, is this another life? It's not the one that you have to, even to get a bus. You know how it is, those that have been in Lagos, you know how you have to climb a bus and all of that. But getting to Ibadan, I was just like, this is another life entirely. Okay, so from there, that was where the experience starts. And I would let you know some other things. But the first and most important thing is that you should give your permission, you should give yourself permission to want something. And that is very, very important. And it is the step that most people skip. They feel it's not important for me to travel. And which is why most people never actually travel. They never actually travel because they never dreamt it. They never felt they needed it. You can travel the round of Nigeria and you will still be able to experience every language, every culture. You don't need to have like a whole lot. And after experiencing that, you get yourself connected with people. Then you can ask that, oh, I want to move off the shores of Nigeria. Do you know that everything you've learned in Nigeria, the language and everyone, can be useful to you even when you leave the shores of Nigeria? That is one other thing. So always give yourself permission to dream of wanting something that would explore you and make you a better person. So before you ask anyone else's opinion, you need to get a clear on what kind of trip your soul actually wants. Do you want to travel alone or you want to travel with people? So the first step is that you need to give yourself the permission to want something.
Stress-free journey. Your education and travel simplified. Travel with ease. Knowledge meets discovery. See the world the smarter way. From visas and flights to places to go. Books that teach you all you should know. We read, review, and guide your way. Learning and travel side by side each day. Oh, travel with ease. Learn it right. Education and travel simplified. Travel with ease. Day or night. Your trusted voice on radio. Your trusted voice on radio. With the dance.
Alright, so this is what I want you to do right now. If you are with a pen, grab a pen or paper. Or if you have a phone with you, you should have a notepad on your phone. And then ask this question or ask yourself this question. Why do I want to travel? And I don't need a service answer. This is something you answer to yourself. Why do I want to travel? What are you looking for? Are you exhausted and you need rest? Are you bored and you need excitement? Are you heartbroken and you need a perspective from other views? Are you celebrating something? Are you running towards something or away from something? These are the questions you need to answer. Know your why. It shapes every of your decision you make after whatever answers that comes out. You need to know your why. My own why is that I want to experience other places. I don't want them to just tell me that Oyo State is this, Osun State is this. They tell me based on their perspectives, but I want to go. I want to experience. Yes, I want to go. I want to experience. I move from there going to Osun State, from there to Ilorin. From there, I went to Abia State. I was able to experience a lot in Abia State. From Abia State, I went to Lokoja. It was that vast that I love to travel. I want to know what it's like. I was able to experience the great market in Abia Market, and it's actually a very big market. I was there and actually I got lost, then I found myself back, then I found my way out. All in the name of I was trying to explore. Then all the way from there to Anambra State, there are so many experiences I've got. See people, see the kind of food they eat and all of that. So your experience must start with why am I putting on this trip? Is it to explore the world? Is it to know other people's culture and how they greet? Then I actually find out even during my traveling that the kind of soil that we have here, you know, we in the West, we have this kind of fertile soil, humid soil that we can use in growing things. And then in somewhere like River State, their sound is kind of white. So it's actually very, very uneasy for you to plant something there. Yes, it's not really easy to plant something because I tried growing some things there and it wasn't actually coming up because of the nature of the sand. The sand is actually white, and the kind of grasses that we see here that are regular, that we are used to, are not the kind of grasses I see there. So I found out that for everywhere in Nigeria, we all have something that is different, something that is not the same. And I felt that, wow, for me to see this, there's still other things to explore. Now imagine you seeing some kind of insect that normally you cannot see in this southwestern part of Nigeria, and you are seeing it in the other part. You have to question a lot of things in nature. So the first thing is that you should dream it, and you should ask yourself the question. This shapes your decision of why you are traveling. And another question you can ask yourself is, what kind of experience do I want? What kind of experience do I want? It's very important. What kind of experience? And who am I traveling with? Are you traveling with someone or is solo, depending on the circumstances surrounding you as at that moment? So if you are of age and you felt you want to explore the world, it is very good. So you need to know why you are traveling. Don't just travel because I asked you to dream it. You need to dream it and be sure of what you are doing. So you have a structure of why you are traveling. So the traveling won't just be just getting away from something or running away from something. You need to know. And the third question I said you ask yourself is, who am I traveling with? Are you traveling with yourself or not? Then the next step is that you need to define your trip. Define your trip. You turn that dreams that you have. You've known your whys and everything, and you have to turn that dream into a framework, into a structure that you plan towards. You don't have the money yet, then you need to look for a way to plan for it. So the next step is that once you know what you want, it is time to define your trip. This is where the dream becomes a real structure. Think of it as a skeleton of your journey, and you start putting flesh into it, and as if you are just building something. So the number one question you need to do for this structure is when? When are you traveling? Let's say the planning you are thinking of right now, it's for December period or November. So you need to sit down and start planning and see how long you can save to cover the fare and every of the expenses that you need. So when are you traveling is the question. It sounds simple, but it has enormous implication. Yes, when are you traveling? First, you need to think about your availability. When can you genuinely get away? When can you get a time? Now, you cannot actually think of what's going to happen in the next 2-3 months because you are not the author and the finisher of your own fate. It's as life comes, we go and we do our things, praying and hoping that we sustain and we live till the next day. So the question is, think about your availability. When can you genuinely get away and have your own time? Working backwards from your work, from your schedule, family commitment and all of that can be quite a handful. And then you need to think of when. And another tricky part is that think about the season at your destination. If you are traveling, you need to think about the season. Will this season, will it favor me or it won't? That question comes with, when are you traveling? Is it going to be the time you are going to enjoy the place you are traveling to, or you would not? And another tricky question about when is that, think about the peak season versus the off-peak period, depending on whatever that you do. Is it going to be on public holidays? Are you planning it on an holiday period that it will be okay for you to do and all of that? Then, how long will you be staying? All this has to be in your structure. How long? Now, all these things I'm saying looks easy, but in reality, it is not, because it's going to take you a whole lot to put all of this together. So when you keep planning them weekday, week out, and as you're planning, some other unexpected expenses and things might come up and might want you not to plan them. But then, if you have something planned out, it's definitely going to work. So the question is, how long will your trip be? These are the questions you need to take note of. How long will your trip be? How long will you be going? And there is a whole lot that is surrounded with this. How long? Is it going to be a month? Is it going to be a week? If it's going to be a month, you know that for that 1 month you won't be working, and you will be spending out all the cash that you have in savings. So you know that for that 1 month that you will be going, a lot is going to leave your pocket for traveling, for feeding, for your excitement, and every other thing. So think about it thoroughly before you pick if it's going to be a month or two. And another thing for you to think about is, where am I going to? Which will go deeply. This is going to help us to go into the next step of what you need to do. Where exactly are you traveling to? Is it within Nigeria? Is it within your state? Is it outside Nigeria? So these will get you thinking on how and where and the timing. Then, what type of trip is this going to be? What kind of trip is this going to be? It's still Travel With Ease on JDN Radio 101.5 FM, and we are just looking at how to plan a trip from scratch, step-by-step guide. Let's take a moment.
Open your mind, see the world with ease. Learn as you travel, travel with ease. Travel with ease, stress-free journeys. Your education, travel simplified. Travel with ease, knowledge need discovered. See the world the smarter way. From visas and flights to places to go. Books that teach you all you should know. We read, review, and guide your way. Learning and travel, side by side each day. Travel with ease, learn it right. Education and travel simplified. Travel with ease, day or night. Your trusted voice on radio. Yeah. With Abiodun Samson on the mic. Every Wednesday, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. On JDN Radio 101.5 FM. Every with peace. Their education and travel simple. Travel with ease, stress-free journey. Your education and travel simplified.
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, it's still Travel With Ease, and we are looking at how to plan a travel from the scratch, a step-by-step guide. And I have given us some tips. And if you want to be part of the conversation, we are live on Facebook on JDN Radio 101.5 FM, and also on YouTube on JDN Radio 101.5 FM. And you can also be part of the conversation on TikTok, on Travel With Ease on TikTok, and you would also see us there. And before we go on break, I was talking about what type of trip are you going for. You need to define that. Is it for leisure? Is it to is it for holiday? Is it for cultural exploration? Is it something for an adventure? Is it a trip to get to know yourself? You need to define it so you know how you can plan it accordingly. And another step is that when you know your when and how long you will stay, or where you will be staying and the type of trip, you already have a structure of where you are going. The next thing after that is to set your budget. Yes, to set your budget. And this will take us back to what we talked about on traveling on a low budget. And this is where you cannot skip any other thing that we've talked about from step 1 to step 2. And this next step is that setting your budget is very, very important. And the golden rule of a traveling budget is that know your numbers before you fall in love with a destination. Know your number before you fall in love with a destination. They might show you a place in South Africa or show you a place in the north, and you're falling in love with the beach and every other thing, or you want to see there is a place in the north that actually talked about the French, the way the French built their house, and it's quite very impressive. Now you need to know your numbers before you fall in love with the destination, because if you research your dream destination first and then look at the price, emotions takes over and you start convincing yourself, I will find a way, it will be worth it, I will worry about money later. You need to be realistic about whatever you are doing. So anywhere you are going, make sure that your numbers are not the numbers that after spending that week, then you now start thinking or start regretting you make that trip. So make sure that your numbers, you look at them before you fall in love with that destination. Will I be able to afford it? Should be your question. Will I be able to afford this destination? And don't say that you worry about the money later, because there is no magic anywhere. If you are going for a trip, knows that money that goes out for leisure or for learning purposes and every other thing, it's an investment for you to get later. You won't be getting any money if you are doing that. So the best thing is that you should know your numbers before you fall in love with a destination. And that brings us to you setting your number first. Let your number guide you. If you are going on a trip and what you can afford to spend on yourself for that trip, to give yourself a rest and all of that, is 50k maybe around Ibadan, or 100k, or let's say you want to go overboard, you want to travel and all of that out of Nigeria and all of that, 500k and all of that, and it's not going to affect you, then you go. But it should be within your budget. Don't go overboard with it. That is just it. So how do you set a travel budget? We need to break it down into 5 core categories for you to know how you spend and how this can help you. So one of the first things that is important is that your flight is important. If it's flights, if it's you getting a bus to your destination, it is very, very important. So you should have your minimum. You should have your minimum. Now back to what I was telling you when I wanted to leave Lagos. They told me then that this is what they can give me to travel with my sister, that if we have some other things to add to, we can add to it. Then I was like, the money they gave us is not enough, so let's just wait. And they're like, why should we wait? You've gone to, I said, let's wait. Maybe the bus fare will come down and we'll be able to save. Maybe when someone come around, they give us some money and all of that, we just add it up so that it's going to be cool and all of that. And then, so we waited. I had to wait and see if some other money will come. And then it finally came, and then the fare dropped a little bit, not so much. And we made this trip to Osun State. And it was fun, because the first fun I had was when we were hungry and we needed to eat. And we asked the bike man that, can you get us a place to eat? And the bike man said, I know of a place that we can go. He now said, Katiku. I was like, Katiku, where is that? Okay, take us there, let's know. But I know that we are two and nothing can happen. So let's just go. So when we got there, lo and behold, the Katiku was actually Captain Cook. And it was funny because I could always remember that adventure. I could always remember that scene, and I was laughing that how can you just say that is what they called the name that, and people are so used to the name like it's a normal name. You know, at times when you find out the real name of a thing, the real name will not even make sense to you rather than the name that was forcefully given to that place. And it was very funny. So anywhere I see that restaurant, that what comes to my mind is Katiku, not any other name. And it was one of the things I got there when I traveled, that some other people can actually, aside Ibadan, that you get to know that, oh, this place is called Dandy Road, not Dandaru. You start getting to know some other real names of things. It gets you thinking, and it's part of travel. It helps you eat stress and emotions. And that is the part of the thing I wanted. Everything is so uptight in Lagos, and you can barely just breathe a normal fresh air, and you can just barely just want to get out of the shadows of some things. And that was what led to the traveling or living Lagos for a while and seeing other places. And lo and behold, it was fun all the way. But it was on a budget. It was on a budget because I knew that the money that was being given then would not be enough. So we have to give ourselves a little time. And this little time we gave it, we were able to save up some more and see that, okay, we can actually eat, we can do some other things and all of that. So when you are traveling, the numbers is very, very important, because this number is going to cover your first thing, your transportation, your accommodation, and your food. Those three things are very, very important. You have to sort it out: your transportation, your accommodation, those two things. And at the end of the whole thing, you would want to eat something. You want to take something in, and you feel like, I've been here, so let me taste what they have, their cuisines. Let me see, what do they have? Is it worth it? Is it anyhow different from where I'm coming from? Traveling at times help us explore a lot of places. So the first thing is your transportation, which is important. So you need to know the transportation fee that will take you there and that will take you back. That's if you are going by road. And if you are going by air, your flight that will take you to and fro is important. So the numbers are very, very important. Then your accommodation, where you sleep, is your second biggest cost. Where you lay your head to sleep, to feel safe till the next day. And the options today are wider than ever. We have luxury hotels, we have budget hotels, we have guest house, we have Airbnb, we have hostels, and we have family stays. If you have family there, it's even more easier because they get to take you around. I imagine you don't even have families there, you just want to explore, for the fact that you need to explore. So one thing many people forget is that they forget to calculate their accommodation per night and multiply it by the numbers of nights that they are staying. So that is why I'm saying that if you are staying a month somewhere, if you are staying with someone, it's better than you calculating an hotel per night for a whole 30 days. And that is why you see most people, when they are planning, it's actually a week, 3 days, 4 days, because they know that if they will be staying in somewhere very good, they are going to actually spend a lot. And the third one, which you need to watch your numbers for, is the food. And this is the categories travelers underestimate, or people that are planning to travel, they underestimate it, that we always get something to eat there. Food spending adds up very fast. Imagine you see a cuisine you like and you tried it out, and you try another one out, and you try another one out, and you're like, I'm enjoying this is very sweet, but the numbers are adding up, and you quickly forgotten about your numbers, that this is my budget and I'm not going overboard with it. And if you are tuning in, you want to be part, you want to be part of the conversation, or you have an experience, or you've planned the trip yourself, and after planning for like 3 to 4 months, you eventually made the trip, you can call us on this number on 07048 001015 or 08022102163. 07048 001015 and 08022102163. And you can also send WhatsApp message to 09132069135. 09132069135. You can send in your WhatsApp message there, and you can call into the studio line. And you can drop your comment on TikTok, on Travel with Ease, and on JDN Radio 101.5 FM on Facebook. And I will gladly read them out for people to see. And when I come back, we'll be talking about activities and experience you need to plan for, aside your food, your accommodation, and your transportation. Those three are the main call of your traveling, and it will give you a lasting experience if you plan it better.
With Tabio Don Samson on the mind, every Wednesday, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. on JDN Radio 101.5 FM. Every with peace, no education and travel simple. Travel with ease, stress-free journey. Your education and travel simplified. Travel with ease, knowledge needs to store it. See the world a smarter way. With Tabio Don Samson on the mic, every Wednesday, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. on JDN Radio 101.5 FM. Every with peace, no education and travel simple. Travel with ease, stress-free journey. Your education and travel simplified. Travel with ease, knowledge needs to store it. See the world.
Alright, so after planning for your transportation, accommodation, and your food, the next one is the activities you'll be engaging yourself with when you travel. So it depends on why you are traveling. If it's for educational purposes, make sure that it is worth a while. That is, everywhere you're supposed to touch, you write them down, and you make sure that you get to all those places so that you will be able to stretch every of the money spent on that trip. So if it's a national park fee, make sure you plan all of that. If it's for an excursion, make sure that everywhere you will be going that you ask for their fee. If they have a website where you can book, it will be better, so you can use that to add up all your number. And if it's that you want to go there as for research, the activities that you must do that is important, you must have a to-do list. Is very, very important. And the next part is that the emergency buffer. What do we call emergency buffer? This is a category nobody wants to talk about, and everybody needs it. And a buffer of 10 to 15% on your budget is important. And at times we call it miscellaneous. Anything can happen on the way. Maybe the flight was rescheduled, or the bus fare went a bit higher, maybe 5,000 more than the normal fare, and you've already calculated that this is the amount that I am traveling with. So you should have like extra. After you've gotten your budget, you should have an extra in case of anything, or your bag gets damaged and all of that. All of that needs to be in place. So that is for emergency. So you need to choose your destination. We'll talk about that destination when I come back from this commercial break.
You are listening to JDN 101.5 FM, 1 Chat Street, Joyce P. Road, Okeado in the city of Ibadan, Nigeria.
Luxury on another level, fine destination, everything top level.
Discover the ultimate in comfort and class at Bon Hotel, Cabo, Ibadan's finest luxury destination, located on Labanji Ayola Street, New Bodija, Ibadan. Whether it's a premium room or fully serviced apartment, Bon Hotel, Cabo, New Bodija is your true home away from home. Enjoy our world-class amenities. dual swimming pool with kids safety jackets, a conference hall, meeting room, a private bar, and a lively karaoke to vibe and unwind. Brown Hotel, Cabo, New Bodija is more than a stay. It is an experience designed for your comfort and relaxation. Don't just visit Ibadan. Book your stay now. Call 091 55004800. That is 091 55004800. Born Hotel, Cabo, New Bodija. Your world-class experience awaits.
What if your child came home top of their class, confident, and already building a skill for the future? That's what Top Mount Schools delivers. From crack to secondary, your child gets the attention, structure, and support they need to succeed. And for busy parents, our boarding program keeps your child focused, supervised, and never falling behind while you focus on work. Admissions are now open into crèche, nursery, primary, and secondary with full burden facilities. Top Mount Schools offers tutorial classes for WAEC and NECO. We handle structure, we help shape their future. Admissions are now open and spaces are filling fast. Call 0703-209-1405, 0703-209-1405, or visit topmountschools.ng.com. Located at Zenith Estate, Ojuaro, Olondaba, Akobo, Ibadan. Top Mount Schools, empowering minds, shaping futures.
Are you ready for an experience like no other? Visit the all-new Kakamfo Inn and Conference Center, completely transformed. Our newly renovated rooms and elegant halls are designed for your ultimate comfort. Host your grand event in the largest, coolest hall in southwest Nigeria, the majestic, newly upgraded Leko Are Hall, sitting 2,500 guests, equipped with brand new air conditioners. You can also keep fit in our state-of-the-art, newly renovated gym, unwind at our vibrant bar, refresh in our indoor pool, or pamper yourself with rejuvenating spa services. Be it business or a blissful getaway, Kakamfo Inn delivers exceptional service in a truly refreshed setting. Located at number 1 Niinola Street, off Joyce B Road, Ibadan. Don't just visit Ibadan. Experience its finest in newly renovated style. Call Kakamfo Inn and Conference Center now at 0705-582-8309. Kakamfo Inn and Conference Center. Just stunning, newly renovated escape awaits.
DN Radio 101.5 Ibadan.
Open your mind, see the world with ease. Learn as you travel, travel with peace. Oh, travel with peace. Stress-free journeys. Your education and travel simplified. Travel with ease. Knowledge meets discovery. See the world the smarter way. From visas and flights to places to go. Books that teach you all you should know. We read, review, and guide your way. Learning and travel side by side.
Alright, so the next thing we will be looking at is you choosing your destination, finding the place that matches your dream and your budget. Yes, there are so many beautiful places that if you look at the budgets, might be 6 figures times 5, but you actually love it. But then it is always good to choose a destination that matches your dream and your budget. It's very, very important. So you need to choose a destination that would fit into the numbers that you have. First of all, you can make a short list of your budgets. Go back to the picture you have painted in step 1 and the type of experience you want, and brainstorm on it 3 to 5 destinations that would deliver that experience. Yes. And don't commit to anyone yet. Give yourself options. That is why we have different places that you can visit. So imagine you have a budget and you want to travel around Nigeria and all of that. There are still some places you can go to and you will enjoy yourself. You will have a whole lot of fun. And also, the another thing you can do is that research the cost of each destination. It's very important. If it's add up, this is not a matter of you being stingy, but it's a matter of you don't want to go overboard with everything that you are planning. So researching on the cost matters and it helps you. So if it's that you want to take your journey, maybe you've explored the whole of Nigeria and you want to explore out of the shores of Nigeria, make sure that you sit down, calculate everything and see what is in for you. So after checking that, you can match your shortlist against with your budget and see which one are realistic. I'm telling you all this because being realistic to yourself is very important when you are planning a trip from the scratch on your own. You might not know this, but it is important that you do all of this. And as you know, that time is no longer on my side and I still have a lot to discuss on you planning your journey step by step from scratch. And we are able to talk about 4 extensively today. So I think by next week I will be able to cover up every of the other parts. And if you have any questions, you can drop them, and then I can then give you a response to every of the questions that you are thinking in your mind. If it's that you want to go within Nigeria or any other one, let us know. So that is going to be the practical steps on how to plan and go about it. So we'll be calling it a wrap this afternoon on the program Travel with Ease on JDN Radio 101.5 FM, your travel companion on radio that comes up every Wednesday 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. And for this program this afternoon, everything has been brought together with everyone that has been part of the success. From my studio manager, that is Olamide FAWEMIMO, to those that are behind every of the words you hear there at home, from Yeye, BC, Duro, Sharo to Joy, Akindolu to Olabode, Makiwana, AISHAT, OYEDELE, and also to you, our listeners that are always that do tune in every time to be part of this frequency, and to the transmitter engineer, that is Big Ben Fadikbe and Kayode Olawuye, and to those that made it possible for the social media. We are talking about Habib, Deborah, and Sambo, and also Emmanuel, and to every one of you that has been part of the program this afternoon that's gotten 1 or 2 things. Remember that make sure that your numbers add up before you fall in love with that destination. I remain Abiodun Samson till I come your way next week on Travel with Ease. Till then, make sure that you have a proper research, and before you fall in love with that place, make sure your budget is also falling in love with it.
See the world with ease. Learn as you travel, travel with peace. Travel with